Hello and a warm welcome to another episode on our channel Crickvoice. We are at this wonderful iconic place here in Chennai. By now you would have guessed where I am right now. Yes, it's the Chepauk. So we are here to meet a former cricketer who is now turned into a selector for the Tamil Nadu senior team. He's also an administrative person for the BCCI. He's gone on tours with India A to West Indies and other countries as well. So we'll get to know more about the selection process, his experiences with Viv Richards in the West Indies and many more. So let's just get straight into the show.
No, you shouldn't react to people who give comments. If you see in the current IPL thing, Tamil Nadu I think has got the maximum number of players. The player might be very good in playing this shot, he might be very good in adapting to different situations. My tour was complete when I met my legends actually. I met my Sir Viv Richards and Andy Robert, and he just smiled and said, yes man.
So thanks Venkatesh, thanks for joining.
Thanks Kishore, it's lovely to be part of your show as well.
So உங்களோட நிறைய விளையாண்டுருக்கேன் நான். ஸோ ஆஃப்டர் யுவர் பிளேயிங் டேஸ் நவ் யூ பிகம் செலக்டர், தமிழ்நாடு செலக்டர். ஸோ விச் வாஸ் மோர் டிஃபிகல்ட் வெங்கடேஷ்? பிளேயராக டிஃபிகல்ட்டாக இருக்கா இல்லைனா ஆஸ் இன் யுவர் ரோல் பிட்வீன் அ பிளேயர் அண்ட் அ செலக்டர்? ஸோ விச் இஸ் மோர் சேலஞ்சிங்?
பிளேயருக்கு ஆடும்போது there was different sort of tension, pressure, everything because you've got to perform there. Here the pressure being a selector is on the other side, like you'll have to pick the best guys for the team. So obviously there are so many other guys, so you'll have to weigh the combination for a team for a particular tournament. Some might be good for T20, some will be good for one dayers. So probably you need to identify the right talent and pick them for the right tournament as such. So that is a big different pressure altogether.
So செலக்டரோட ரோலே வந்து ரொம்ப ப்ரெஷரஸ் பிகாஸ் வி சி லாட் ஆஃப் டீம்ஸ் நல்லா பண்ணும்போது செலக்டர்ஸ் ஆர் ஆல்வேஸ் டீம் தே சே டீம் இஸ் டூயிங் வெல், இந்த டீம் இஸ் நாட் டூயிங் வெல் என்னன்னா செலக்ட் பண்ணல. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ப்ரெஷர்லாம் ஹவு டு யூ ஹேண்டில்?
See, basically, you shouldn't react to people who give comments. Obviously, when the side is doing well, they say that. When the side is not, this is all part and parcel of being as a selector or as a coach also. If you see, the same thing happens. But if you think about all these things, then you will not be doing justice to your job. So you will not probably select the best side. So obviously, when you select a side, you do it as per your conscience. You select the best team and trust them to do well. That's it.
So in a youngster or whenever you are picking a team, so what do you look at his performance or the talent you see in him? So how do you go about selecting someone?
Basically, with regard to youngsters, probably yes, you need to identify the talent and if he's got the potential to make it big. So probably he's got a couple of years left in him, so that even if he fails, you just need to persist with those sort of guys. But when it comes to seniors, probably you need to see the present form as well, because obviously they'll not be having too many years left behind. So obviously you'll have to give weightage to his current form and not according to the past thing. So what he has done about 3 years, 4 years back, that cannot be the criteria. But if you select someone as a youngster, if he's not doing well, yes, if he's got the talent, you need to back him so that he will come good probably in a couple of years time. That's how it
So in terms of Tamil Nadu doing well in white ball cricket, so it is very evident now that IPL auction has taken place and almost 13 players, so many players are coming from Tamil Nadu. So you must be a proud man seeing these boys doing well. So TNPL has done a wonderful job, identifying these talents. So you must be proud of that.
Obviously, yes. TNPL was a great platform for these guys, because obviously when they play on TV, when it's shown live on TV, that pressure is also not on them. Basically, they get used to the pressure. So when they play in outside tournaments, yes, they know that yes, they have played some sort of a cricket T20 or tournaments. They have played a lot of tournaments. Each guy has got to play about 20 games so far. 20-30 games they would have played in T20. So that way they would have got adjusted to the pressure, handling what is the situation, how to go about it. And yes, if you see in the current IPL thing, Tamil Nadu I think has got the maximum number of players.
Exactly.
They've got about 13 players playing for IPL, which is a big thing for a state like Tamil Nadu. We've always done well, but only now people have started taking players for T20 and IPL. yes, it is a good feeling to be, probably very happy for these guys.
Yeah, on the flip side, right, if you see, on the other side, if you see, now that after seeing all these TNPL and IPL and white ball tournaments, which they get limelight so early, so நீங்க என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க? Nowadays kids are white ball தான் விளையாடணும், எனக்கு வந்து லாங் ஃபார்மேட் வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு நினச்சி, ஆர் தே ட்ரைங் டு ஸ்டார்டிங் டு ப்ராக்டிஸ் தட் வே, or do you think that people are still interested in playing long format games?
No, there are certain guys who are interested in playing longer formats. சில பேருக்கு வந்து they don't have the patience, so probably they can hit the ball really hard. So basically they would try to concentrate on playing T20, and for all the kids now, if you see, so T20 is a platform, as an easier route to play for India. So if you see, some of the guys have come based on the T20 performances, not on a 4-day Ranji Trophy game. So T20 is instant stardom for most of these guys. So a guy like Shahrukh, if he does well, obviously he's going to be looked at for the India A team and for the Indian team also for T20 and 1 day. So obviously that is what they are looking at, and more money involved in in IPL. So basically these guys can also probably get a better future in life, because not many people get to play for India in the longer format. But this is one thing where the kids, if they get a quick 30, 40, then they are assured of a thing. So that is the thing.
Yeah, so in terms of Ranji Trophy, right, so this year it may be cancelled, but when you consider the white ball, even 50 overs as well, Tamil Nadu is doing pretty well for the past few years now. But Ranji Trophy, if you see, they are not doing that well. So I mean, do you think that it is only a matter of time before Tamil Nadu does well in red ball format as well, Venkatesh?
Yeah, obviously, yes. And it's not that we've not been doing well in red ball format. We have come to finals a couple of times. But the only thing is, we've been qualifying also for a lot of times. We have missed out on winning the cup. So probably we've been in the semi-finals, quarter-finals, finals a lot of times. The only thing is, when it comes to knockout, we are not able to, when it comes to the crunch situation, as a team, we are not able to win. But talent-wise, I think we have the best in the country, and obviously, you need to back them, you need to have faith in them that they will do well in the red ball format as well.
When we were playing, and the selection criteria, has it changed? Because when we were playing, or in say 10-15 years back, when there was no T20, selection criteria was always runs in the middle, technique பார்க்குறது, ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி more from that angle. So has that changed now?
இல்லை, அந்த காலத்தில் பார்க்கும்போது நம்ம the criteria was only for a 4-day game. So obviously you need to stay there in the middle. You're looking at guys who have patience, who are able to play in the V அந்த மாதிரிலாம். But now there is a scope for identification for players. Even in a particular player, a player might be very good in playing this shot, he might be very good in adapting to different situations. So basically when you look at T20, it is basically you select the guy based on his adaptation, how he adapts to a particular or a given situation. So probably if he plays some fancy shots, but if he gets away with it, then it's fine. If he's playing it regularly and if he's getting runs, it is good. Obviously if you see in IPL, most of the death overs, you see the scoop shot, you see the uppercut, all those things. These are all part of a armory of a cricketer in a T20. Obviously you've got to have all those things to really succeed. But if you see most of the runs, if you see even now, most of the runs are scored only in the V's between mid-wicket and long off. That is the reason where most of the runs are being scored, a majority of the runs. Obviously you need to be also good to playing those shots, not only these. But yes, see, a player ultimately needs to know when to play these shots, and he has to get runs for him to be selected. If he is good but still keeps getting out, then he knows that he's not going to be selected. So obviously we don't look at only guys with talent, but we also look at guys who are able to deliver.
And looking at all the the teams that the team celebration, be it in the bus or be it in the dressing room, we see a lot of videos nowadays on social media. Dinesh Karthik sharing all those. So the camaraderie, the team bonding is wonderful with TNCA cricket right now, right? So do you think that is also helping in team doing well?
Obviously that plays a huge factor. If you see that bonding of a team plays a huge factor when you go out inside and perform. Obviously we have played together, you know how the bonding has to be. So something when the outside atmosphere is not good in the team room or in the bus, if it is not good, obviously the guys are not going to enjoy playing out there in the middle. So obviously we have to have, you should feel happy whenever your side, one of your members is doing well, because it might be your turn to do well, and then others will also have to feel happy. So, as you know, cricket is a team game, so that is how it is.
அப்புறம் உங்களோட அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேட்டிவ் சைடில் கொஞ்சம் யுவர் பார்ட் ஆஃப் யுவர் இன்ஃபேக்ட் டூர்டு வெஸ்ட் இண்டீஸ் ஃபார் த இந்தியா ஏ சைட், ஸோ அதோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் கொஞ்சம்
Basically, yes, I was probably administrative or a logistics manager for the team. So then we went on a tour to West Indies, and actually I had been as an administrative manager for the India A team on the home series. We played against Sri Lanka, we played against England Lions, we did play in South Africa as well subsequently after touring from West Indies. When we went on the tour to West Indies, we had a full series against West Indies. That was before the Indian team actually went to West Indies. So that was the time, and it was an amazing experience. Going to West Indies as such, as a cricket loving nation, obviously you would have seen all those things, how West Indies dominated cricket initially, and such a sight to see all those grounds, and it was wonderful playing cricket there. The atmosphere, everything, it was brilliant, and my tour was complete when I met my legends. Actually, I met my Viv Richards and Andy Roberts were there. I had a chance to interact with them, so that was the biggest satisfaction.
Any interesting discussions with Richards? I mean, because we all know.
Yes, we were just talking about basically about T20, and we were just telling him like probably had he been there, probably would have got a couple of hundreds in T20 by now, probably 10-15 hundreds. And he just smiled and said, "Yes, man, with the current bowling restrictions, the current pitch how it is, and the bats." Obviously with the bats. So he would have been a real hit. He would have been a number one pick for all the teams, I think.
So any other interesting moments?
Actually, we went to a friend of mine. Actually, he took us to Andy Roberts' house. So we had a long discussion about fast bowling, how they trained and how they used to bowl quick. So he was telling me like basically they used to run in the beaches all day long. They used to bowl long hours in the nets. That was how they trained.
Any input from the India A side that you do? Who were the players that were there in that team, and
everybody actually with the present side, if you see, most of the Indian players scored with the India A teams. Shreyas Iyer was the captain, and we had Kunal Pandya, we had Hanuma Vihari, we had Riddhiman Saha, Ishan Kishan. Everyone was with the team actually, current team. Krishnappa Gautam was there, KS Bharat was there, everyone. Shubman Gill was there. He got a double 100. Shubman Gill got a double 100 of that series. And it was amazing, the effort they put in. And it was too good to watch them play this.
Venkatesh, thanks for your time. Thanks a lot despite your schedule. Once again, Namrade Sonamari, thanks a lot for having you on the show. And also, by the way, personally, I wanted to congratulate you on Tamil Nadu winning the T20 tournament.
Thank you, Kishore. Thank you. It was wonderful being part of the show. Obviously, the team winning, Tamil Nadu winning the Syed Mushtaq Ali, entire credit goes to the boys. I think we just selected the side. And I think the entire credit for winning the team should go to the team players, the support staff, everyone. They must have put in really hard work to win the trophy for Tamil Nadu. Selectors will just pick the side, so obviously full credit has to go to the team and the support staff.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kishore. Thanks. Wonderful being on your show. Thank you.